everyone, and welcome to another edition of Studio De Sapo. This morning we're going to be demonstrating how we make our shampoo bar. This morning we're going to be demonstrating how we make our kombucha shampoo bar, and it's more specifically the orange coconut variety. So our kombucha bars, kombucha shampoo bars. Our kombucha shampoo bars are a little different than our regular shampoo bars, with the addition of the fermented tea, the kombucha, which we get from our friends at Apple Blossom. Shout out to them, Apple Blossom Kombucha. They have a store over on Saginaw and Grand River and Frandor there. And actually we're going to be going and visiting them as well, so you'll get to see how she goes about making her kombucha. But anyway, we get her retired scobies. So we're going to be showing you how we make our kombucha shampoo bars. Now our kombucha shampoo bars are a little different than our regular shampoo bars. With the addition of the SCOBY and the fermented tea, we changed the pH of the bar slightly, so it's a little more acidic. So it's more of a cleaner rinsing sensation. And then the blend of oils that we use for the kombucha bars is slightly different than the blend of oils that we use for the traditional shampoo bars, which we have a few varieties of. So the kombucha we get from our friends, our friend Kate. So the kombucha that we get for our shampoo bars, we get from our friends over at Apple Blossom Kombucha. She has a store over on Saginaw and Grand River and Frandor, in the strip plaza over there. We're actually going to be going and visiting, and she's going to be showing us how she goes about making her huge batches of kombucha. If you've never seen it, it's really super cool. But anyways, she donates her retired SCOBY to us, and we use that to make our kombucha bars. And what I do is I grind it up and then add it to the base. So this morning we're going to be making our orange coconut kombucha shampoo bar, which is one of the more popular ones. We currently make 5 different varieties. They're all pretty much formulated the same way in terms of how much kombucha gets added and the blend of oils. Really, it's just a matter of what scents you like. So if you haven't checked those out online or stop into the store and see the varieties there. But today we're going to be making the orange coconut. So to start out with, I've got my blend of oils. You can see this. Oops, as I dump it all over the place. So to start out with, we've got our blend of oils. I'm going to tilt this down a little bit so you can kind of see how it's going to look for me. So we've got our blend of oils here, and this is basically a blend of coconut, castor, olive, and palm oil. And then we add a little golden jojoba oil as well. So oils that really complement your hair and your scalp. And then we've got our blend of scent here. And we'll add that to the oils. And then we've got our lye mixture, which I've got ready to go as well. So we'll go ahead and do that. So first I'm going to add my my lye mixture. And I'm just going to mix this by hand for a hot second. And then we like to color these bars too. So for this morning I'll be using the neon orange. It's actually called flotation device, so it's kind of a real bright orangey. It'll mute a little bit in the soap, but so we'll add that as well just to give us some color. So we've got our lye mixture added. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my scent. And that's just a blend of orange and coconut oils. Then I'm going to add my SCOBY. So like I said, the difference with these is that they're slightly more acidic. So on the pH scale, they would um, um, come out a little bit more acidic than our regular shampoo bars, and even more so than our body bars. Now, if you've noticed, we don't add any cocoa butter or shea butter to these like we do with our body bars. You could add those if you wanted to, but I find for the shampoo bars, they don't tend to work well because it clumps up when you're rinsing, and so we typically just stick with oils that are going to be complementary to the hair and follicle. And I'm going to go ahead and add my wonderful neon flotation device here. It smells so good. Okay, now I'm going to start hitting it with my stick blender. So if you notice, I'm just mixing this till we get to, oh, what happened to you? So if you notice, I'm just mixing this till it gets to a light trace. And when I say light trace, when I lift up the stick blender and trace it on top, it should leave just a little bit of a indentation so you know where you've been, and it still isn't, so I'm going to keep going. That's better. The reason we do that is that way we know it's completely emulsified. In other words, it's not going to separate when we pour it in the mold and it sits to set up. You know, once it's come to trace, that it's completely held together through the emulsification process. So it's about the thickness of like a thick, sort of like a pancake batter or a thinner cake batter. If I go any further, or if I wait, this will begin to set up and it will be impossible to pour into the mold, which happens occasionally. So I've got my mold. This is one of our 2-pound molds. This is the one we use for most of our shampoo bars. I don't do my fancy mountaintop range on these, just so we have a differentiation. And for holding it in your hand or rubbing it on your head, the flat bar works much better. So I'm just going to pour this in. You can see this is like this really cool orange color. It'll fade or mute down a little bit through the night. So this will set overnight, and then tomorrow morning we'll cut it, and I'll show you that process. But basically that's it. So this will be ready in a couple of weeks to sell. And I've talked about this before. The curing process isn't about anything other than making the bar harder and drying and dehydrating the moisture out of the bar. The longer you do that, the longer and harder the bar will be and last longer. The longer I didn't say that right. So the longer you cure it, the harder the bar will get as the water dissipates, and you'll be your bar will last longer. But we typically soak pretty hot, so I don't usually go the full 3 to 4 weeks cure, especially with these, because the higher acidic level heats up the lye as well, so it acts quickly. The lye has completely done its job in about 12 to 14 hours. We leave it overnight just to be safe, but once it's done its chemical process, it's done. It's no longer in the soap. It's part of the molecular structure or makeup of it, but all right, so that's basically it. It's our lovely bar. It's already setting up real nice. Just gonna put this to bed. We usually wrap this. I'll cover it and wrap it in a towel and let it go to sleep overnight, and then we'll see it again in the morning.